Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to another episode of the Retail Tales. It's a podcast where we exclusively discuss all things AI across the retail value chain. I'm Saurabh and I'm your host for this podcast. In today's episode, let's talk about something which most organizations, let alone retailers, are dealing with or at least trying to deal with in the world of AI. If you've been following the evolution of AI closely, you're probably no stranger to the buzz around generative AI. Those large language models, small language models, multimodality models, and basically the models that generate net new content. They generate audio, code, video, and obviously text. As expected, Gen AI made its way into marketing, product descriptions, ad campaigns, and even synthetic photo shoots. Can you believe it? It also made people more productive with capabilities like summarization, contextual search, and insight generation. So yes, it's impressive. But today we're talking about something which is even more transformational, something much more operational, something much more impressive. We're talking about agentic AI. It's really a paradigm shift in how machines operate and, more importantly, how businesses organize and scale work. This is not AI as we have known it so far. It's not a clever assistant that waits for instructions. This is AI that acts autonomously, strategically, iteratively. Agentic AI doesn't just respond, it perceives, plans, executes, and learns. And it does all of this without waiting for a prompt. And that capability changes the game. Not just in tech circles, by the way, but across the entire retail value chain, from the factory floor to the front of the store. So in this episode, I'll go deeper into the world of agentic AI in retail. I'll try to break down what makes agentic AI different, why it matters now, and how it's already reshaping the very DNA of workforce models, customer journeys, and digital infrastructure. I'll share my perspectives and some experiences drawn from my own client conversations, not abstract hypotheses. They're based on what I see happening out there in the market. Agentic AI is still early. Yes, I agree. But its potential to reshape retail is real. And the signals are way too strong to ignore. So whether you are a retail executive trying to automate, say, customer service without losing the human touch, or you're a supply chain leader trying to reimagine fulfillment with AI agents, or maybe a tech executive wondering how to measure success beyond just uptime and latency. This episode is for you. All right, so let's dive in. Let's actually start with the basics. We're all familiar with generative AI by now, the reactive kind. You give it a prompt, it generates content. It's like an extremely capable assistant that waits for your instructions. But agentic AI, that takes things several steps further. These systems don't just generate, they act. They perceive their environment, apply reasoning, make decisions, and then execute an action. And since we're talking about basics, let me also shed a little bit of light on the differences between AI agents and agentic AI. Most people tend to use these two interchangeably, but they're not the same. In fact, they can't be more different than what most people believe. AI agents are typically reactive. They wait for a prompt and respond based on a predefined logic or a trained behavior. Agentic AI, on the other hand, is proactive and autonomous. It can perceive context, make decisions, execute tasks, and learn from outcomes. All of this without being explicitly instructed at each step. It's not just a smarter assistant, it's a self-directed collaborator. And it's a very crucial distinction. It's something that marks a shift in how we define intelligence, initiative, and automation. If a generative AI chatbot is like a brilliant assistant, which is able to generate content or answer questions and even follow instructions with remarkable fluency, then agentic AI is something else completely. A generative AI chatbot waits to be told what to do. It's powerful but passive. Agentic AI, by contrast, doesn't wait. It perceives context, makes decisions, takes actions, and then learns from that outcome. It's the difference between a responsive expert and a self-driven partner. A partner that doesn't just respond but initiates. Think of it as a proactive strategist. It can ingest context, interpret nuance, make decisions on the fly, and course correct itself without being explicitly told what to do at every step. So, if you're still thinking this is automation, think again because I've got news for you. This is not automation. This is autonomy, and it's powerful. It's not some speculative fiction. It's becoming operational reality. Forward-looking companies are exploring, and in some cases even implementing agentic AI as a digital replica of their workforce. These digital agents run in parallel to human teams, autonomously managing tasks, making decisions, and adjusting operations in real time. Many organizations are deploying agentic AI in process-heavy environments. Think IT help desk or customer service operations. An agent receives a service request, consults system knowledge, identifies the most effective resolution path, retrieves relevant data, and then initiates the response. All of it without a single human handoff. Let me give you another example. Imagine agentic AI embedded in the nerve center of a retailer's global supply chain. Instead of waiting for a human to flag issues, agentic AI, detects like a maybe a brewing raw material shortage in Asia, autonomously reroutes procurement through a secondary supplier in Eastern Europe, recalculates shipping lead times, updates delivery estimates for impacted stores, and then notifies regional manager. All before most executives even wake up and smell their coffee. This example is like a present-day glimpse into what a fully empowered agentic AI system can do when it's not confined to predefined tasks. What we are witnessing is the birth of digital autonomy, not just speed, not just scale, but foresight, self-correction, strategic orchestration. These agents are not just executing instructions. They're rewriting the tempo of business itself. And that changes everything. But, at this point, you may ask, is this just about workflows? Is this just about task execution? Obviously not. Let me give you another example to bring that to life. Comes from a call center training program at a small regional retailer in the southern part of the country. In there, agentic AI isn't just simulating customer calls for practice. It is being actively embedded in live interactions, live conversations with customers, and it's providing real-time scoring, adaptive coaching, and feedback loops during each and every call. That means supervisors don't need to retroactively listen to hours of calls or manually compile coaching notes. Instead, they focus on the right conversation at the right moment with precision. It is fundamentally changing how coaching is done for this retailer. It's making it more targeted, more continuous, and exponentially more effective. And that's just one of the use cases. Think about any task in retail or customer operations that traditionally required labor-intensive oversight. With agentic AI, those oversight layers themselves are becoming intelligent. The agent doesn't just guide the call. It learns what language soothes probably an irate customer, identifies subtle emotional cues in tone and pace, and adjusts scripts dynamically in real time. And no, this is not about replacing human behavior. Before any of you go there, I just want to make sure that you understand this. It's not about replacing human behavior, it's about amplifying it, enabling intelligent interactions, enabling intelligent conversations that allow frontline workers to operate at their best without drowning in processes. And processes, by the way, which were designed for human execution only. No wonder Microsoft's Work Trend Index found that nearly half of executives are now seriously exploring AI as a form of digital labor. But the goal is not mass replacement. It's smarter augmentation where human capability is no longer the bottleneck, but the multiplier. Okay, so now let's look at a few more use cases. Let's talk about personalization. Agentic AI is opening doors to experiences that were previously too expensive, too complex, or simply too human intensive to scale. Imagine walking into a flagship fashion store and being greeted by name. The store associate already knows your past purchases, what you returned last season, your size preferences, and even the kinds of materials that you gravitate towards. Obviously, in this case, the associate is augmented by Agentic AI. See, Agentic AI doesn't just recommend products. It can pre-assemble full outfits tailored to your upcoming travel plans, your local weather, and your body shape. You know, it can even nudge you towards emerging trends that you've shown interest in online but maybe haven't even acted on yet. This is not just personalization, it's predictive curation. It's what happens when retail stops reacting and starts intuiting. Agentic AI allows retailers to treat every customer like a long-time VIP. Not because a store associate remembers their preferences, but because a system has the autonomy and context awareness to do it and do it at scale. That's game changing because personalization at this level isn't going to be just nice to have. It's what will separate retailers who barely survive from those who thrive, those who lead. I've said it before multiple times on this podcast, and I'll say it again. Retail is ripe for this kind of transformation. In fact, retail may be the ultimate proving ground for agentic AI because of its data intensity, customer volatility, and relentless margin pressure. Agentic AI allows retailers to move beyond reacting. They can anticipate trends almost in real time and proactively adapt their operations and experiences to match demand. How? By continuously analyzing massive volumes of structured and unstructured data, social media buzz, customer reviews, loyalty activity, web behavior, sales figures, supply chain signals, and even localized weather forecasts. It's not just about dashboards anymore. Agentic AI can synthesize that data and take action, adjusting pricing, reprioritizing restocks, flagging fulfillment risks, or even pushing hyper-targeted offers before a competitor even reacts. Take Amazon's anticipatory shipping as an example. It's the kind of model that makes sense when you've got AI capable of inferring intent, predicting needs, and initiating logistics before a customer even clicks on place your order button. But the real unlock is not in one-off use cases. It's in connecting these capabilities into a broader network of agents, each agent managing a part of the retail value chain, continuously learning from their interactions and optimizing outcomes without needing a human prompt. And again, that's not a distant future. That's something already unfolding. Behind the scenes, Agentic AI is rewriting the operational playbook. It's not just a tool for automation, it's an intelligent system capable of detecting patterns, identifying inefficiencies, and triggering corrective actions without human prompting. From anticipating equipment failures to reallocating labor based on real time foot traffic in stores. Agentic AI is bringing a new level of precision to store and warehouse operations. It's predictive, adaptive, and constantly optimizing against a dynamic baseline. Um, you know, just a couple of weeks ago, I had a conversation with the CIO of a major food distributor, and he shared something that stuck with me. He said they are in the final stages of implementing a system where agentic AI will have secure access to companies' institutional knowledge. Everything from operational SOPs to real time logistics data and historical customer insights. What stood out for me was the power in the system. And it's not just the access to information, it's what the agents will be able to do with it. These AI agents will now be able to collaborate across domains, across customer service, supply chain, merchandising, you name it. And they'll be able to solve problems that previously required endless back and forth between teams. Instead of hours spending digging through shared drives or pinging colleagues for, tribal knowledge, these agents will synthesize context, retrieve answers, and even suggest resolution paths autonomously. For this distributor, the implications are profound. Faster onboarding of new staff, reduced dependency on internal gatekeepers, fewer fire drills caused by information bottlenecks, and more time for their people to focus on innovation, partnerships, and growth. This shift, where knowledge isn't just stored but activated, is the real multiplier. And it's setting the stage for decision making that's not just faster, but exponentially smarter. Okay, so at this point, an obvious question would be what happens to the org chart? What happens to work as we know it, right? Some companies are already listing both human and AI FTEs in their structure. They're not just evolving how roles are distributed, they are reimagining what a workforce even means. This signals the emergence of a parallel workforce, uh, a workforce where AI agents can independently perform an entire business process, while humans shift into roles of oversight, strategy, and maybe exception handling. In these emerging models, departments aren't just being supported by AI, they're being built around it. There are serious discussions underway about launching agent led departments, where agents handle 80 to 90% of transactional workflows, and human employees act as system orchestrators, trust builders, and escalation specialists. It's a structural rethink, not a tech overlay. I don't know if you remember what Jensen Huang, the NVIDIA CEO, said about this. He actually put it quite succinctly. I may be paraphrasing here, but he said something along the lines of IT will become HR for AI agents. It's absolutely profound, but it goes deeper than infrastructure. It means rewriting job architectures, redefining success metrics, and designing new career paths for both people and agents. And HR will be crucial. Why? First, HR will need to push the business to explore what's possible with this hybrid workforce. That means moving beyond simply enabling adoption to actively challenging legacy assumptions about work. They'll need to spark conversations that reimagine productivity, career paths, and value creation in an agent enhanced environment. Second, they must lead the change management effort, especially for tenured employees who may feel uncertain or threatened by these shifts. It's not enough to tell people AI is here to help. HR must build an emotional case for change. That involves surfacing concerns, addressing fears, and showing through tangible proof points how AI agents can elevate rather than erode human contributions. They'll have to craft the communication strategy, model the change narrative, and build the right incentive structures to help people embrace AI agents as collaborators. From onboarding programs to digital literacy initiatives, HR's job will be to make the future of work feel not just operationally sound, but personally exciting. Let me drift a little bit and unfold change management a little bit more because change management isn't just going to be internal. Customers must adapt too. That's not the role of HR or IT of a retailer, but it's absolutely crucial. As AI agents start to become more deeply embedded across the retail experience, customers will encounter digital agents more frequently, sometimes even without realizing it, which could introduce a new dimension of customer experience design, and that is expectation management. Customers like you and I, we need clarity, whether we are, interacting with a digital agent or a human. What if we are interacting with an agent? What can the agent do? And at what point can or should we escalate to a human representative? Failing to set those expectations risks eroding trust and degrading brand equity for retailers. This is where education becomes paramount. Retailers must embed intuitive cues into their interfaces. It could be visual, tonal, or behavioral indicators that let customers know who and what they are engaging with. They must provide frictionless escalation paths when issues become nuanced or emotional. And above all, every interaction, whether agent led or human delivered, must feel cohesive, consistent, and aligned with a retailer's brand values and voice. Because trust isn't just about technology working well, it's about people feeling seen, respected, and in control, even in an increasingly autonomous world. Okay, so back to workforce and worker implications for retailers. I was reading an industry report last week, and one of the stats really jumped out. The stat was 80% of workers want AI skills, but only 21% have had training. That's a massive gap. That 59% gap is a clear warning signal for business leaders in retail. This is not a gap that will close on its own. Organizations need to ramp up their training and upskilling programs immediately and systematically. It's not just about offering AI literacy sessions once a quarter. It's not a check the box kind of a thing. It's about embedding continuous learning into the employee experience. AI boot camps, simulation environments, job rotation programs that let people experiment with AI agent tools in safe environments. It also means tailoring programs to fit different learning curves. New hires may be fluent in AI basics, but your frontline employees and store managers who bring years of invaluable experience need support in translating that expertise into agent enhanced workflows. The investment here is not in technology. It's in your people's confidence. It's in your people's agency and adaptability. Because if your workforce doesn't evolve with your technology, you're not going to be transforming. You're just going to be patching. All right. Now let's switch topics. Let's talk about how retail executives need to think about and prepare for building and scaling agents. All right. So the first thing is intent. The business must define the capability need, not just in broad strokes, but with precision. What problem needs solving? What outcomes are we targeting? Once that clarity is established, IT or AI teams step in either to build bespoke agents in house or to integrate and customize off the shelf solutions. But here's where it gets even more interesting. The real differentiator, the place where performance either clicks or collapses, is in what I call agent tuning. This isn't a one-person job. You need a cross-functional team for agent tuning. A process expert who understands the business workflow intimately. A content specialist who ensures the agent is trained on the right data, data that is accurate, timely, and contextually relevant. And a prompt engineer who crafts the instructions, define task boundaries, and calibrates the agent's behavior. And then there's organizational data. No matter how elegant your model is, if your data is messy, fragmented, or stale, your agents will stumble. So, what do? You prioritize modernization, not by ripping out every legacy system, but by starting where it matters most: critical systems, key decision points, high leverage data flows. I kid you not, this is real surgical transformation, and this defines the path that separates those experimenting with AI agents from those operationalizing them at scale. All right, so with all that said, how do you get started? How do you get going? And what does that roadmap look like? Let me tell you how. And let me also try to make this roadmap actionable. If you're a retail executive and you're looking to bring agentic AI to life within your organization, I'll give you my 5-part playbook. Number one, start with a holistic AI strategy. This is not about deploying a chatbot here and a smart inventory tool there. It's about developing a coordinated roadmap that aligns with your business goals, workforce design, and tech stack. You need a strategic North Star that moves beyond scattered pilots and into system level transformation. Number two, prioritize a robust data foundation. Agentic AI feeds on context, and context lives in your data. If your data is fragmented, outdated, or siloed, your agents will underperform, period. Build the pipelines, invest in quality, embrace APIs and microservices, and then treat your data layer as critical infrastructure, not back office plumbing. Number three, invest in reskilling and literacy. Tools are only as powerful as the people who use them. Your teams, from store associates to senior leadership, need to understand not just how these agents work, but how to work with them. This means AI literacy programs, hands-on experimentation, and a shift in how you think about training and talent development. Number four, stand up AI governance early. Don't wait until something breaks. Don't wait until trust erodes. Establish ethical guidelines, permission structures, escalation protocols, and monitoring systems before you scale. Good governance builds trust, prevents missteps, and creates the conditions for safe acceleration. And finally, number five, move fast, but with guardrails. Look, this technology is evolving rapidly. You don't need to have all the answers before you start. You don't need to have all the data in place before you start. But you do need safeguards in place to ensure that speed doesn't come at the cost of integrity. Pilot, learn, refine, but don't lose sight of broader system you're reshaping. For me, honestly, this is not just a checklist. It requires a mindset shift. It requires a repositioning that you're not just implementing agentic AI, not just embedding it in your workflows, but you're leading with it, with AI first mindset. Look, the way I see it, the way things are evolving around us, in 2 years or less, many of us will have our own AI agent teams. Just like we use digital assistants now, the winners won't be those with the flashiest tech. but those who combine AI with trust, empathy, and collaboration. Because the real competitive edge, the real moat, is not automation alone. It's the quality of human engagement amplified by agentic AI. And that, my friends, is the future of work. And on that note, it's a wrap on this episode. Thanks for listening. Here's me, Saurabh, signing off. If you like the content, don't forget to follow this show to keep learning a thing or two about retail AI. You can follow us on LinkedIn and subscribe to this show on Apple or Spotify. Join me in the next episode of The Retail Tales, a show which is exclusively focused on exploring all things AI across the retail value chain. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay curious.